Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to discuss propagation.requires_new in Spring Boot. This propagation type behaves very differently from required, and understanding it is crucial for real-world transaction scenarios. In the last video, we discussed propagation.required. Now, Spring also provides another propagation type called propagation.requires_new. Requires_new means always create a new transaction, no matter what. If a transaction already exists, Spring will suspend the existing transaction, create a new transaction, execute the method, and then resume the original transaction. This behavior is very useful when you want a part of your logic to be completely independent of the caller's transaction. Let's understand propagation.requires_new with a simple example. Suppose we have three methods: method 1, method 2, and method 3. Method 1 is executed inside an existing transaction, let's call it T1. Method 2 is executed without any transaction. Method 3 is configured with propagation.requires_new. This means that whenever any method calls method 3, Spring will always create a new transaction. If a transaction already exists, Spring will suspend the existing transaction, start a new transaction for method 3, execute method 3, and then resume the original transaction. So method 3 never participates in the caller's transaction. Its commit and rollback are completely independent. Now suppose method 1 calls method 3. Method 1 has already created a transaction, let's call it T1. Since method 3 is configured with propagation.requires_new, it does not join T1. Instead, Spring will suspend transaction T1, create a new transaction T2, execute the code inside method 3 within T2, commit or roll back T2 independently, and then resume transaction T1. So even though method 3 is called from method 1, it runs in its own transaction. Now suppose method 2 calls method 3. In this case, no transaction is active, because method 2 is not transactional. Method 3 is configured with propagation.requires_new, so it detects that no transaction exists. As a result, Spring creates a new transaction, let's call it T2, and then executes the code inside method 3. Once method 3 finishes, T2 is committed or rolled back, and execution continues. This behavior is exactly the same as before. Requires_new always creates a new transaction, whether or not a transaction already exists. In the last video, we configured all methods: transfer amount, debit, and credit, with propagation.required. Because of that, all methods shared the same transaction. Now, in this video, we're going to change just one thing. I'm going to configure the debit method with propagation.requires_new. The credit method and the transfer amount method will still use propagation.required. This small change will help us clearly see how requires_new behaves differently. Specifically, we'll observe how the debit method runs in a separate transaction, how it gets committed independently, and what happens when an exception is thrown later. Alright, let's make the change now. Alright, we've now converted the debit method to use propagation.requires_new. What this means is, whenever the debit method is called, it will always create a new transaction. If there's already an existing transaction, Spring will suspend it, run the debit logic in a new transaction, and then commit it immediately. So the debit operation is now independent of the rest of the flow. Even if something fails later in the caller method, the debit change will already be committed to the database. That's the key behavior difference of requires_new. Now notice one important thing here. We've kept the credit method exactly the same, which means it still runs with propagation.required. So the credit method will execute inside the same transaction as the transfer amount method. On the other hand, the debit method is now using propagation.requires_new. so it runs in a separate transaction and commits independently. Now, to clearly see the difference, we can throw an exception, either from the credit method or directly from the transfer amount method. Let's do that and see what actually happens. This will help us understand which operations get rolled back and which ones stay committed when requires_new is involved. Now, I'm throwing the exception from the transfer amount method. Alright, now let's start the application. Now let's check the database state. You can see that account 1 has 500, account 2 has 1000. Alright, now let's hit the API. In this request, I'm transferring the amount from account 1 to account 2. Okay, now let's verify this from the database. As expected, an exception was thrown during the API call. Now the important part is to see what actually got committed and what got rolled back. Now look at the database state. You can see that account 1 now has 0. Account 2 still has 1000. This means the amount was debited from account 1, but it was not credited to account 2. And this behavior is expected. The debit method was executed with propagation.requires_new, so it ran in its own transaction and committed successfully. After that, an exception was thrown in the outer transaction, which caused the credit operation to roll back. This clearly proves that requires_new commits independently of the caller transaction. Use propagation.requires_new only when a piece of logic must execute independently. It should not be part of the parent transaction. Even if the parent transaction rolls back, this logic does not need to roll back. That's exactly when requires_new makes sense. Typical examples include audit logging, saving error logs, notification or tracking records. Any operation that must be committed no matter what. Because requires_new allows partial commits, it should be used very carefully. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you understand requires_new, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Also, feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. See you in the next one.